This video will explain how to create a tunnel job by using LGO, like a GeoOffice. So, first of all, before going into LGO, you need to have your tunnel center line into an XML format available. So there's multiple ways to get that tunnel center line. So you need to have that first of all available. So in my case here, I have an XML file that contains my tunnel center line that I will use. So in Leica GeoOffice, what you need to do as soon as you go into Leica GeoOffice, you need to go under Tools on the left side of your screen, and you want to find the Design to Field tool. Under Design to Field, you need to select tunnel data as import type. You want to work with tunnel data, and for importer you want to select LAN XML. At this point you click import. You will browse on your hard drive to find your XML file with your tunnel center line. You will click open, and you will view a map of your tunnel center line. So at this point, if you look into the upper left corner, there's a few options, but one of them, it's the tunnel profile editor. That's where you want to go. You want to build your tunnel profile to be able to create your tunnel job at the end. So let's go into the tunnel profile editor. So the first thing you need to do, you'll go in, it will be blank, there's nothing. You want to start by building a tunnel profile. There's nothing in it. You'll go down, you will right click, and you will select add. So you'll give a name. If you double click on it, it will give profile name by default, but you can name it. I'll call it typical. So you give the name of that first profile. So, and when it's done, if you double click on it, it will open that profile. And again, here it's empty. So right click, and you can start to build your profile. And at the bottom you will enter the information to build your profile, and on top you will have a graphical view. So basically, okay, and I have my XY, so depending on the size of my tunnel, but you'll see here, first I want my tunnel to start at X0, and Y I'll put -1, and here you can use the zoom all, so you'll see your tunnel being built here. So perfect. I want to start at 0 and -1. So here at the intersection, it's the 0, 0. That's my tunnel center line. So I have one element here. I want to put a second one. I will enter for X, as an example, -4 and -1, and I'll do a zoom all. So I have one element. I will right click, add a new one. This one is going to be -4, and I want to go in my example up to +3. So if I zoom all, so you see what I'm trying to build. That's the center line of my tunnel, and I kind of offset, let's say 1 meter down. That's going to be my tunnel. I could have stayed to the same level. It depends on your design. It's just an example here. So perfect. Now I will put kind of a round top to my tunnel. So I will right click, add another element, and now I want to be, the next element will go to 0, and let's put 7 as an example, and it can be a curve. Let me just zoom out and go. And I want for radius 4. So you see now that from here I put my radius 4, so I have curve. So if I want, I can add another element, and my next element will go up to x. I'll put +4. Sorry, let's put +4, yes, and for y I will put 3, and this one will also be a curve, and I'll put the same radius. So see, perfect. I want to add another element. This element I will go down. I want to stay at +4, and I want to go up to -1, and I will add a last element. I want to go to 0, but I want to go to -1. Here we go. So that's just an example. So I just built a profile. Okay, so that's good. That's my typical profile. So I can go to profile overview, I can right click, and I can add another profile. So if I need to build multiple profile along my tunnel, I can add all my profile right here. And here I have my typical open, and I can look at it. So, but I will use the same one all the way to the end in my example. So now, when all your profile are done, you need to click on layer. Basically, you want to attach your profile to station. So if I right click and I want to add, it's going to ask you the name of your layer. I'll call it final. Do you want your profile to be vertical all along your alignment, or you want them to be perpendicular? So it means they will be perpendicular to your alignment, to your profile. So if you're going uphill, you want to your profile to be always vertical, or you want them to be perpendicular to your elevation on your tunnel center line. So in my case, I'll just say, okay, I want them to be I'll leave it vertical. You can put a rotation if you want to rotate your profile. I'm not going to do anything here. So I'll just double click here so I can create that layer. I can right click on it, I can add, and here you will manually enter the station, at which station you want to attach your profile. So at station 0, my alignment, the example that I imported earlier, my tunnel alignment start from 0 to 30. So that's my stationing. So at stationing 0, chain H 0, you can select which, oops, sorry about that. Let me go back here. You can select which profile you want to attach. So I have only one. I'll select typical. Right click, add. Okay, now at station 30, you can select which profile you want to attach. So I'll stay there in my case. If I do a zoom all, now you see station 0 and up to 30, I have the same profile. So I'll stop here. That's just a quick example. So, but you can keep going here. If you have multiple profile, you attach all your profile to the specific station, chain H. When you're done, I can press file and I can do a save. If I want to save those profiles, it's going to create a .tpe for tunnel profile editor. So I'm just going to quickly save that into a folder, so if I want to come back to it later or do some change, at least I have a backup of it. So I'll select a folder, give it a name, tunnel profile example, save that, file, and I can hit exit. It says, do you want to save? Yes, blah blah blah. Save it. And now you see I'm back to I see my center line in blue, I see my tunnel now in green. The last thing that need to be done is to export that tunnel information, the center line and the profiles, into a job for the instrument. To do it, there's an export function on top of your screen. You want to export it for SmartWorks Viva. You need to select where do you want to export that file. So again, I'll select a location on my hard drive. So let's find the same location. And you give the name. You need to put the name of your tunnel that you want to see in the field. So I'll just leave it tunnel, but you give it a name and you click OK. And it's done. Now we can close that. And if I go into my computer in Windows Explorer, if I go into the location where I just exported my job, there's a file called tunnel. If I open it, there's some files in it. Those files are for the instrument. I can copy those files and put those files in the DBX folder of my instrument. So let me just do it. Let's go back. Select those files, copy those files, and I'll go into my System 1200 instrument on the card, and you put those files into the DBX. Paste those files, copy and replace. Sorry for that, the files were already there. Perfect, it's done. So now if you open at this point, if you open your instrument and you go into the tunnel stakeout, you will see that job tunnel there, and you will be able to do the stakeout of that job. So basically those are the steps to create a tunnel job using Leica GeoOffice and the Design to Field tool.